Hidden in the pages of history is the story of Nikola Tesla, a man who almost changed the world as we know it. He was a brilliant inventor, electrical engineer, physicist, and futurist born in 1856. But what's even more fascinating is that Tesla may have predicted some of the most influential technology of the last few decades. Join us in this video as we explore some of his astonishing predictions that have come to fruition and those yet to come. Nikola Tesla, the Serbian-American, was far ahead of his time. His remarkable predictions for technology in the early 20th century have not only come to fruition, but also exceeded what he envisioned. He foresaw the internet, wireless communication, and smartphones long before they became ubiquitous. Despite not being credited as the inventor of many technologies, he helped develop the radio, television, AC electricity, and dozens of other inventions. In 1904, Tesla wrote about his scheme of intelligence transmission, which he called world telegraphy. In his vision, a cheap and simple device could be carried in one's pocket, recording the world's news or special messages intended for it. He predicted that the device would be set up somewhere on land or sea, and its news would be flashed to all points of the globe. He believed that the entire Earth could be converted into a huge brain, capable of response in every one of its parts. His predictions have come true in ways he could not have imagined, and his vision of the world as an interconnected entity has become a reality. Tesla also predicted the possibility of using renewable energy sources to power our homes and businesses. In the early 1900s, he proposed the use of hydroelectric power and conducted experiments with solar energy. Today, renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power have become increasingly popular as people look for ways to reduce their carbon footprint and rely less on non-renewable energy sources like coal and oil. Many homes and businesses are now powered by renewable energy, and it's not uncommon to see solar panels on rooftops or wind turbines dotting the landscape. One of Tesla's most ambitious predictions was his belief in the possibility of interplanetary travel. In the late 1800s, he proposed the idea of using electromagnetism to propel spacecraft, and even suggested that one day we might be able to travel to other planets. While we have yet to make it to another world, the development of SpaceX and other private space exploration companies has brought us closer to making his dream a reality. With the successful launch of the Crew Dragon spacecraft in 2020 and the prospect of sending humans to Mars shortly, it's clear that Tesla's vision for space travel is not as improbable as it once seemed. Before we move on to the next incredible prediction, be sure to subscribe to Space Unearthed. One of Tesla's most famous predictions was that we would one day harness the power of the sun. He believed that the sun was the ultimate source of energy, and that we would one day be able to capture and use this energy to power our homes and cities. In fact, he even went so far as to say that we would one day be able to transmit this energy wirelessly, using the Earth itself as a giant conductor. Tesla's idea of wireless energy transmission may sound far-fetched, but in fact, it was based on sound scientific principles. He knew that the Earth was surrounded by a magnetic field, and that it was possible to transmit energy through this field using resonant frequencies. In the early 1900s, he built a prototype of his wireless transmission system, known as the Wardenclyffe Tower in Long Island, New York. Unfortunately, the project was never completed due to a lack of funding, but the basic principles behind it are still being studied and researched to this day. Another of Tesla's predictions was that we would one day be able to communicate with other planets. He believed that there was intelligent life out there in the universe, and that we would one day be able to make contact with these beings using radio waves. In fact, he even claimed to have received signals from Mars during his experiments with radio waves in the early 1900s. While we have yet to make contact with intelligent life from other planets, Tesla's prediction was not entirely unthinkable. Scientists today are actively searching for signs of extraterrestrial life, and many believe that this is only a matter of time before we make contact with other beings in the universe. Tesla was also interested in the concept of time travel, and he believed that it was possible to travel through time using a device that he called the time machine. He even claimed to have built a working prototype of this machine, although there is no concrete evidence to support this claim. Nikola also famously predicted that we would one day be able to create an earthquake using a device that he called the earthquake machine. He believed that by harnessing the power of resonance, it would be possible to create a massive earthquake that could destroy entire cities. While it is true that resonance can cause vibrations that can lead to earthquakes, it is not possible to create a man-made earthquake using a simple machine. The forces involved are far too great, and the risks involved would be far too high. Imagine a weapon that could bring down planes from miles away with just a beam of energy, or an invisible wall of energy that could protect a country from invasion by vaporizing enemy soldiers upon contact. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, doesn't it? But the brilliant inventor, Nikola Tesla, claimed to have actually created such a weapon. Tesla's biggest dream was to find a way to transmit limitless power through the air. During his lifetime, he managed to develop several devices that could transmit electric energy wirelessly, but a lack of funding limited his research. However, in 1934, Tesla announced that he had made an incredible discovery, a device that could kill miles away with electricity. Tesla named his invention the Teleforce, although many now refer to it as the Tesla death ray. The inventor resisted this term because it did not transmit rays, which would dissipate in the air. Instead, Tesla's invention focused energy along a narrow path, making it powerful enough to bring down airplanes and kill people instantly. According to Tesla, his invention could make it possible to create a national energy fence that would destroy an enemy that passed through it. However, he hoped that the applications of his invention could be peaceful. By making it impossible for armies to attack other countries, Tesla hoped that he could completely eliminate warfare. Unfortunately, Tesla's high-minded dreams were limited by a serious problem. No one was interested in funding his project. He approached the governments of the United States and the Soviet Union, among others, but none of them offered any money for it. Building a massive death ray without sufficient funding proved to be a challenge. However, in 1937, Tesla made a surprising announcement at a meeting at the Yugoslavian embassy. He claimed that he had already built the death ray, and that he would be unveiling it to the world in a matter of months. Sadly, if Tesla had built a death ray, the world would never see it. Later that year, Tesla was hit by a car crossing the street and never fully recovered. In 1943, he passed away in the New Yorker hotel where he had been residing. Upon news of the inventor's death, the U.S. military quickly arrived at the hotel and searched his room for any inventions they didn't want other countries to get their hands on. However, officially, they found nothing. So, what happened to the Tesla death ray? It's possible, though unlikely, that the US government secretly took possession of Tesla's invention. Similar devices were experimented with during the Cold War, suggesting that they may have used Tesla's invention to develop further technologies. However, if Tesla did create a death ray, and no one took it, then there's no clue as to where he might have put it. It's also unclear why he never publicly displayed it. In conclusion, Nikola Tesla's Teleforce, or death ray, is a fascinating yet mysterious invention that has captured the imaginations of people for decades. Though Tesla's hopes were high for creating a device that would eliminate warfare, it ultimately remained unrealized. Perhaps someday, the truth behind this invention will be uncovered, and we will finally learn the fate of Tesla's death ray.